Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's Lightning XE here, and a few quick things I want to mention before I begin this video. Obviously spoilers, trigger warning. This is an old deck list I'm just playing around with because I have no clue what else to do. I could bring up a game, but that just risks, crashing my computer, and I'd rather not just go ahead and crash my computer today, so not taking that risk. Um, So yeah, trigger warning for this deck list even, because this list is kind of old. Um, Also, if you hear any background noise, I believe there is road work that's possibly going on. So, sorry about that. That's completely out of my control. But anyways, I want to say a week ago, or somewhere around there, about a week ago, I beat Borderlands 3 finally. And not that long ago, I made a video on the first 24 hours of my experience on that game. My thoughts on, getting on the game finally, waiting for, midnight to hurry up and get here so I can get on this game and jump out with my friends and have a great time. And how I ended up just hating the game so far. Well, here I am now beating the game finally, and I still hate myself. I can honestly say I still hate myself because the game was still really bad. There's no way to put it. The game was just really, really bad. I know there's gonna be people out there in the comments that are probably gonna be like, "Bro, the game was really good." Well, here's my reasoning behind why I think the game was really, really bad. Not just the story, but the gameplay also got progressively repetitive and worse as the game went on. I'm gonna be real with you. The game just got progressively worse. It got repetitive. It got boring. It just, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was playing Borderlands. I felt like I was playing just like another grindy game. And I don't mind grindy games. I mean, please, I play Final Fantasy. That's like the definition of grindy. But that game had a good. Those games have good stories. Like when I played 13 and 13 too and started Lightning Returns, the story has been great. Borderlands 3, I did not feel invested in the story. And as the title suggests, there's one thing I would change, and it would have fixed the entire thing. I think anyone else but Maya should have died, and I wouldn't have known everything that would have happened if she or the other thing that could have really been changed. Although I'd still be a little pissed off, but keeping bias out of the review, could have just not had Maya set anything, and then but I don't see that working out either because that would just be like, oh yeah, that's a little unnecessary. So I think had she not died, the predictability factor would have been a bit lowered. I mean, still would have probably known. It just wouldn't have been as obvious, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But long story short, if she didn't die, I would not have known anything that would have happened throughout the rest of the story. Like, the rest of the story would have just been, oh, wow, didn't see that coming. And, like, that'd be genuinely saying, wow, did not see that coming, not just, oh, I didn't see that coming. So, it's just, I wanted to enjoy the game. I really did. I truly wanted to enjoy the game, but I just couldn't. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. My opinion on this stupid game doesn't matter because everyone else seems to enjoy it. Now back to the whole thing with the gameplay. Again, it just got repetitive and annoying. Which, okay, Final Fantasy got repetitive and annoying. But the story kept me going. As soon as I beat Borderlands 3, the first thing I told my friends was, finally, I don't have to play this dumb game until the event comes out. because there's nothing left to do in the game other than a bunch of side quests, which are just pointless to do at this point. Because I mean, I could go on true Vault Hunter mode, but that requires playing through the entire story again, and I really just don't want to go through the story again because the story was just so bad. Like, I saw from 300,000 miles away Lilith getting her powers back. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I saw it from 300 miles away. Like, she's not gonna fucking lose her powers for long. She'll fucking get them back. All you need to quit whining. I saw it coming from a mile away. Her fucking sacrificing herself, saw that fucking coming from a mile away. Like, I hate to break it to you guys, but I saw most of the game coming from a mile away. Like I said in my last video, the only thing I didn't see coming was Tannis becoming a siren. Everything else, from a mile away, I saw it all coming. It's just... I'm sorry, but I could not sit there and enjoy that game. The game was just really bad. I wanted to enjoy the game, but I simply just could not. I I wouldn't say it's the worst $100 I spent, but it's definitely up there. Because again, the story killed the gameplay for me. And the gameplay, going back to that, I guess, with how bad that was. Okay, so get this. I played a bunch of side missions to grind a little bit so I could, you know, level myself up, get better, so I can jump into the final boss. Which, by the way, most of the boss battles, I didn't feel like I was actually fighting a boss, because they felt way too easy. Like, a lot of the boss battles felt too easy. I can't honestly say that I struggled during any boss battle. Like, the boss battles were just, they were not a struggle for me. They were way too easy for me. I just, I didn't feel threatened by a boss battle in that game. I really didn't. Like, I jumped into the boss battles thinking, okay, maybe this might be a little difficult. No. Even in the final boss, I didn't get down once. My shield got really low a few times. My health got low a few times. But I never felt like I was in danger because I would just, okay, activate my ability. Up, now here's my health just shooting right back up. Up, my shield's already done. I never really felt like I was in danger in most boss battles, especially the final boss. Which, the final boss, you're supposed to feel like some kind of danger, because, you know, it's the final boss. You know, it's supposed to be really hard. Nah. It took me like 5 minutes. Not even. It wasn't that difficult. I beat most of the game on my own. Like, I think I played like the first like hour of the game with friends. Or not hour, but like the first like 3 hours of the game with friends. And well, we mostly did a bunch of side quests. And speaking of side quests, and even like main story quests, I've had items go missing. I've had items fall off the map and never come back. I've had enemies phase through the ground. I have myself phased through the ground and just fell through the map. I've had all that kind of crap happen to me that you'd expect from a game like Skyrim, because Skyrim's a huge game. Like, Elder Scrolls games are huge games, big ass worlds. There's bound to be bugs like that. The difference between Skyrim and Borderlands 3 is Skyrim actually is like very replayable, and Skyrim has an excuse for having all these bugs because the game's fucking huge. You can't expect every bug to be fixed. With Borderlands 3, okay, yes, it's huge, but glitches like falling through the map, glitches like items going missing, the game isn't that big. The game is about as relatively big as Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 wasn't even that big. So, I don't see what the excuse is for Gearbox. I really don't. They really don't have an excuse necessarily. They just, oh, we fucked up. Which, damn right you fucked up. Because again, the gameplay was solid, okay? The gameplay in Borderlands 3, don't get me wrong, it was solid. But shit like that just pissed me off. Like, I would have to restart entire quests because items go missing or enemies go missing. Seriously? Like, that's inexcusable. Like, again, you expect some kind of shit like that to happen in Skyrim. And in Skyrim, you just do the same thing. But again, Skyrim has that excuse because the game is huge. Borderlands 3 isn't that big yet. Now, I know the counter argument is the game is still young. It's only been out for like, what? It's been a week, 2 weeks now? Okay, fine. Use that excuse. That excuse only goes so far, though. You can only use that excuse once, maybe twice, for like a few weeks. But if shit like this just keeps happening and the game's been out for like a month, again, only Skyrim gets that. Games like Skyrim get that excuse. Big open world games get that kind of excuse. Borderlands 3, which is about the same size as Borderlands 2, doesn't get to use that excuse yet. It doesn't get to use that excuse for much longer. So I'll take off a half a point, we'll say, because the game's still young, but still, I didn't have that issue with Borderlands 2. I didn't have the issue with pre-sequel. And I pre-ordered pre-sequel. I played pre-sequel the day it came out, and I played it for like a while. 360 pre-sequel. You know, not when fucking Handsome Collection was shot right into our faces. That kind of stuff. I didn't struggle with stuff like that. The game was flawless for the most part. I enjoyed pre-sequel. So I don't see, like, why Borderlands 3 couldn't just, you know... And the thing is, it's expected for games to be shitty when they just can't come out now. Because all games do that now. And that's not cool. But, like, it's kind of the point where it's expected. Because if it's expected, then other game developers will keep doing it, and it'll just become the norm, and then people won't buy games anymore because, oh, this game's gonna be shitty in the first few weeks. Like, that's where you make the most of your money, is like when the game first is coming out. So, like, I don't see... I truly don't see why this couldn't have been fixed before the game was released. Is what I'm saying. Just the little things, piece by piece, just slowly need to be fixed. Other than that, the gameplay was solid. Besides, you know, the shitty bosses, you know, items going missing, falling through the map, stuff like that. Which, like, I wouldn't be, like, walking and then all of a sudden fall through the map. Like, I would watch a cutscene and then fall through the map after that cutscene. Like, huh? Okay. Guess I gotta go restart my game because I just fell through the map. Cool. But overall, my final rating for this god-awful game, and I'm sorry, but the game is just really bad, and the gameplay didn't really back up the story. The gameplay was a solid, you know, like 3.5 out of 5. But that's the problem that Borderlands 3 was suffering from. The game was essentially trying to cover its ass by having a really awful story but excellent gameplay. That's not... You gotta have a mix. I mean, I can list, like, 3 games that I've played recently that have great gameplay and a great story. Metal Gear Solid 2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, both which I just bought recently, and Final Fantasy 13. Really good story, really good gameplay. easy. It's not hard. Borderlands pre-sequel. Good story, good gameplay. The Tomb Raider reboots. Great story, great gameplay. Halo 1, arguably Halo 2. Don't try to fight me in the comments. I thought Halo 2 had a good story. Halo 3, Reach. Good story, good gameplay. It's not hard. You can't do stuff like have excellent gameplay and a shitty story and expect people not to notice that and expect most people to glance over that. Because when I play a game not just for the good gameplay. I play a game for a good story. I want a good story out of my games. That's just how I am. I love a good story. So it really upset me that Borderlands 2, or not Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2 is fantastic. I can't talk shit about that game. It upsets me that Borderlands 3 had a really bad story, but the gameplay was solid. For the most part. Not always, but for the most part it was solid. It upset me because I was looking forward to a good story. I was, watching the trailers and trying to figure out the story and trying to theorize myself, what's going to happen. I didn't have to theorize very long. The story was predictable the second Maya was gone. I get this event coming up, and then I can imagine like all the DLCs that are about to come out. What's the point of playing through all those DLCs? The story, the main story wasn't good. What's gonna make the story of the DLCs any better? That's just my thought. And it's like I can't play a game with an awful story and just motivate myself to continue. The only thing that really motivated me was the fact that I paid $100 for this game. If I would have paid like $50, $60 for this game, I would have dropped this game the second Maya died, only because I would have been like, okay, well, here's the rest of the story. I'm done. Again, it was just the predictable nature of the story. You knew what was going to happen. Easily. And I'm beating a dead horse at this point. My final grade for this game is 2.5 out of 5. The pros to the game, again, the gameplay was pretty solid for the most part. A lot of the weapons were pretty sweet. There's some very sweet weapons, not even talking about legendaries, like just weapons overall. All the weapons that I've picked up are pretty solid for the most part. There's some cool legendaries out there, but there's some cool, like greens even. Like there's even some commons that I've enjoyed, playing around with. But the cons, again, awful story. The game is still young, but there's a lot of things that are inexcusable because I've played other games where I didn't really have that issue when the game was, still fresh and young. And a lot of my friends had that issue when they were playing the game. Like, yo, I just fell through the map. Like, I would hear that constantly. Oh, yo, there's an item missing. I can't find it. I gotta restart my game. I heard it so many times from friends. And just, again, you knew what was gonna happen. So it just made everything pointless. So 2.5 out of 5. That's it. I'm done talking about this ridiculous game. I'm gonna move on to some other stuff, some other great and exciting, family-friendly. Okay, I don't know about family-friendly, but some good and exciting content. Hopefully. Hopefully we get to the exciting stuff. I do have some stuff planned out, ready to go. I just gotta get it. I really just gotta get it all planned out a bit more, but it's ready to go for the most part. That's what I'll say. I just gotta get it all set up. Also, I believe I announced it on this channel. If not, I will leave a link in the description to the channel I'm referring to. But me and some friends are planning on starting a podcast named after my Discord server, which if you'd like to join, links in the description. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, all that yada yada BS, it's all in the description. But I'm just trying to start a podcast. It's gonna be a podcast on just overall media, gaming, movies, things that we're interested in. So we'll talk about basically anything. We'll have some guests, quote unquote guests, on there hopefully. There's one person I'm hoping to get on there for the first episode. I'm gonna have to speak with them. But right now we're just in the planning phase with the whole thing. If you think you'd be interested in watching something like that, again, all the info's in the description. If you made it to the end of this video, you are an absolute unit. If you're subscribed, you're an absolute unit. If you would like to be an absolute unit, subscribe. Like the video, share, all that generic stuff that every YouTuber says. I'm out of here. I'm done talking about this ridiculous game that I hopefully will never have to play again, except I'm gonna have to play it again when what is it called, Bloody Harvest. Oh dear. Before I start ranting about that, I'm Lightning XC. You're an absolute unit, and I'm out of here.